At approximately 13:45 hours, which is 3:45 p.m., the area of Thomas and 24th Drive, which is just east. A motorcycle trooper made a traffic stop on a bicyclist for a traffic violation. At this point, I don't know. The bicyclist yielded, and the trooper had enough time to get the subject's information and enough time to find out that he had an outstanding warrant for his arrest. At that time, the trooper attempted to place the subject under arrest, and that person left his bicycle and ran on foot. He ran south on 24th Drive, just south of the La Quinta Inn. Many of you may be familiar with that area. When he got south of the La Quinta Inn, he came to a construction area and a fenced area where, of course, the fence slowed him down. At that time, the trooper made contact with the subject again, tried to take him into custody, unsuccessfully attempted to tase the suspect. At that time, the suspect produced a weapon, and the trooper, in fear for his life, fired at the subject, striking him, I believe, twice, from what I understand at this point. And the subject was then transported to a local hospital and is being attended to.
Do you know how that suspect's doing right now? Is he in surgery or?
He last I heard, he had gone into surgery. From what we understand, the injuries don't appear to be life-threatening, but of course, I'm not a doctor, and there can be complications, so that's all we have at this point.
What was the weapon then?
It was a gun. Yes.
And what type of warrant are we talking about here? Was this a violent crime that he had a warrant out for his arrest?
I don't know the exact warrant that he had at this time. I believe it was a misdemeanor warrant, but I don't know what it was for at this time.
The trooper involved in this incident, how long has he been or she been with the department?
I don't know exactly. I believe he's been with us for at least 5 years, but I couldn't tell you exactly.
Do you know where these shots occurred on the suspect's body?
From what I understand, his lower extremity, like maybe in the buttocks area and an arm.
How did the trooper get the information on the suspect's ID?
What happens when we make contact with anybody, if we pull you over for a traffic stop, we always run your information, and typically we get that from an ID. And we'll ask dispatch, or either ask dispatch or use their mobile computer to do that. And so I don't know if it was through dispatch or through his computer, but he accessed law enforcement data to find out that suspect had a warrant.
And when you say produced a weapon, did the suspect have possession of it? Was it pointed at officers, or can you point a little bit?
From what I understand, he pulled the weapon. He had the weapon, which the trooper did not know he had before. And at the time when he tased him unsuccessfully, that's when the suspect pulled the weapon, making the officer fear for his life, and he fired upon the suspect at the time.
Can you say if it's a handgun or a long gun for the suspect?
I believe it was a handgun.
That area, 24th Drive in Thomas, you mentioned something that we may be familiar with. When we were over there, I think the reason that we had this press conference over here is because there were a lot of spectators. Their doors face the street.
Yes.
What do you have to say for that area?
It is a very congested area. There's a hotel right there. There are a lot of unhoused individuals that are in that area. Many throughout the day. For anybody that drives through there, you'll notice that there are a lot of pedestrians typically in that area, and so it's that's why we did this here and not there, because it's not necessarily a good place traffic wise, and many spectators around.
And can you explain what happens next in terms of protocol under review, watching body cam footage, etc.?
Yes. So our investigators, first of all, DPS will be conducting, our major investigations division will be conducting the investigation at this time. And of course, our investigators will look into every aspect, body cameras, witness accounts, and I'm sure there were probably witnesses. I don't know how many, but just based on the area, and there are typically quite a few people around the area, I'm assuming we're going to have witnesses. So of course, we'll take every step that we can to make sure we do a thorough investigation. Talk to all the witnesses, review any kind of video. If there are other videos around, like on businesses and so forth, we will of course take that and review all the body camera, also interview the trooper. It will be very, very thorough.
Do you have a name and age for the suspect?
I don't have the name at this time. All I can tell you is I believe is a Hispanic male in his 20s.
And sorry if you said this at the beginning. Where was he biking at first that caught the trooper's attention?
I don't know. I know he was in the area of 24th and Thomas is all I can tell you at this time.
So we don't know the misdemeanor crime or the actual traffic violation that put us in this position to begin.
I don't know that at this time, but when we have that information, we'll make it available.
And just talk about your, I mean, obviously you guys can pull over anybody, but your jurisdiction is typically freeways, highways, is Grand Avenue and I-17. What was that even a jurisdiction area for you guys to
Typically,
be in?
thank you for the, yeah. Typically we spend most of our time on the freeways, but any law enforcement officer in Arizona has 24-hour police authority anywhere in Arizona. So if we see a violation and it's not on the freeway, we don't spend most of our time off the freeway making stops, but if we do see a violation, we are free to make that contact, and that's what he did at this time.
Anybody else?
Any other questions?
Thank you for waiting. This is a motor trooper that did the stop for you all that way.
On
On a
a
motorcycle.
So let's make this clear as well. When the suspect ran on foot, the motor trooper was able to follow him on his motorcycle. So, you know, it was down a street in a hotel lot and so forth. So he was able to follow him on his motorcycle and catch up to him that way.
And when you said that you tried to tase them, was it prongs tase and it just didn't? Do you not know?
I don't know that at this time. I just know he attempted to deploy the taser and it wasn't successful.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you guys.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Bart.